Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, missing guest. Today's topic is freedom, which I think is a very appropriate topic for today. And the context in which we're living, as Bruno mentioned, the post-9/11 world, where everything is getting more complicated, everything is getting more uncertain, potentially more dangerous. Freedom has been used as a rallying cry against oppression and dictatorship. Freedom has been used as a means of ensuring protection of our homeland. Freedom has been overused as empty patriotism to give credence to bad ideas. And freedom has been abused as a breach of our privacy to ensure security. Today I'm going to be talking about this question that Bruno brought up in the first part of our two-parter speech, which is it okay to sacrifice just a little bit of your privacy in order to gain more security? And I will argue that no, it isn't. This is not okay, and for two reasons. First, it infringes on our constitutional rights. And second, it is detrimental to the prevention of threats. Now, in the spirit of this call-out that I did to Bruno, I'm going to read a quote from a recent article in The Economist. The intelligence community has unprecedented powers that, if unchecked, undermine a free society. The right to peaceful assembly, for example, comes into question when a person's mobile phone allows them to be tracked with almost no legal safeguards. The crux of the anti-constitutional side of the argument is that basically this is the path that undercuts our freedoms. Who here has not heard or seen of unjust profiling or discrimination based on race, based on beliefs, based on whatever you might have said or posted on Facebook? Who here has not heard of detaining without probable cause? And who here has not heard of unlawful searches and seizures? I think the very epitome of this is everything that's been happening on the East Coast in the last 6, 12, 18 months, where you have people realizing that police have just been blatantly abusing and ignoring these laws. And this concept of unlawful search and seizure extends into the digital domain, where we have unlawful wiretapping. And it's kind of curious that this has only started to kind of come to light in the era of Edward Snowden, where we have sort of started to see, wow, the NSA and the government has some of these unprecedented powers that we've never even heard of, because they're all top secret. And so this whole thing that's been happening is in my mind crazy, because the only thing that we're having right now is a conversation. We haven't even started talking about and acting on protecting our rights to privacy. We're just having a conversation. Now, all of this is something that a problem that the Bill of Rights was actually designed for. So the Bill of Rights is there to prevent this rush towards a false sense of security, and that the false sense of security really comes from the specter of fear that Bruno talked about, that can kind of inherit your very being and give you a sort of feeling that you need to compulsively collect data and information about people, and leads towards the path to a society where we're talking about pre-crime, where people are getting arrested and sometimes tried and jailed for things that they haven't even done, things they were maybe thinking about, things maybe they were just talking about as an example. And a society of the thought police, where just based on what you may have written, we're trying to figure out, maybe you're a deviant, maybe you're a terrorist, maybe you're kind of a weirdo. Now, this path is a path that leads to the bending and the eventual breaking of rules. And you know what that causes? That causes the society to become less free. Free to act, free to speak, and free to think. So these violations are illegal, I believe. I also believe they're ineffective, and in fact, they are detrimental to security. One of the examples of this is the NSA, with all of its wiretapping programs. The NSA has the ability to collect data and decipher some of the emails that are being sent out. Congress doesn't actually have any oversight over this. They have no idea what the NSA is doing because the NSA says this is all secret and classified. And the public, until recently, didn't even have a clue that programs with these names even existed. So what is this a small enough price to pay to prevent these attacks that are happening? And my answer to that question is, what attacks? Where are they? The few people that have intimate knowledge in all these congressional hearings about attacks that have been prevented by the collection of data have said that they're completely unconvinced that these couldn't have been prevented in some other way, and that they're completely unconvinced that they were even credible threats. So this entire drive erodes the law. The erosion of law means that not just the fight against terrorism suffers, but that the entirety of government loses completely the trust of the public. One of my most kind of interesting things that I've realized about the Constitution, what most people don't know, and about the Bill of Rights, is this kind of misconception. People believe that the Constitution gives you the rights to do things. And the Bill of Rights gives you the right to freedom of speech, freedom of religion. That's not what it does. It turns out the Bill of Rights affirms the fact that these rights are inherently yours when you're born. You have these rights. The only thing that the Bill of Rights does is says the government may not infringe upon them. May not infringe. And I think that this is the foundation of a free society. It's not what Bruno would have you to believe, which is, if you have nothing to hide, then why do you care about your privacy? So if you really want to be free, don't sacrifice your privacy for a false sense of security. If you want true security, protect your rights and let freedom ring. Thank you.